I'm going to create this masterboard and turn them into these tags on today's Masterboard Monday. Hi, I'm Christine, the artist behind Darlissa Designs, and I'm happy you're here. Welcome. I was going to do reds and pinks one more time for Valentine's Day, but then I started going through papers and found these. These are Amazon packing paper that I stained with coffee and tea and some food coloring, I believe. I don't know, it's been a while. And then just some sofa doodling because I have a hard time actually watching the TV. I have to have something to do. And I thought these would be cool, torn up and put into today's masterboard. Plus, I need to get things moving and clear out some things in my art room. So I've got some regular pages, some numbers. These are from the last masterboard. Probably won't use the bird, or if I do, you won't know that it's the bird because I want this to be a big neutral, except for the blue masterboard. And so I'm not going to start with paint today. And I also decided instead of using, since I'm not working with paint, instead of using the white watercolor paper, I'm going to use the back of one of the many maps that I have. These are charts from yachts. So I'm just going to cover this page in writing and book pages and stuff like that. Okay, I just tore it in half so that we're not here forever. But one of the reasons why I like this is because it's thinner than the watercolor paper that I use. And because I'm going to glue a bunch of stuff onto it, I don't want it to be too thick because these are probably going to be tags for inside my journals, and my journals are already so full. So I am going to stick with straight but torn lines here. I like that. And I'm just going to start off with a little piece from each thing and see how far that takes me. I'm so happy to be back into my blues and aquas. I love it. I don't want too much of that black, I think. I always glue over it if I don't like it. And I want a little, I'm taking a little from each because that way if I decide to bring something in later, it's not lopsided on the page. It's even all the way through. So I'm just going to tear off a lot of this white because I don't want plain white in there. You'll never see it. If these were older book pages, I might leave some blank space, but they're not. So I'll leave that. And I really like this, but I'm not sure if I want this pink in here. So I'm going to take this strip off and save it for a rainy day. There's a touch, but that's okay. And then we have our numbers here. Now this one, I think I am going to take off most of it. And I can always grab a blank piece later if I want it. Okay, I like that. There's more here, but I don't need to do that right now. Let's do one more. Yeah, one more. Just so I have enough to go all the way. And because it's just words, and no colors or anything besides just straight lines of words. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's kind of neutral. It won't draw attention. I can use these to kind of break up the space in between the ones that have something really interesting on them. So, did any of you see yesterday's short? It was the page that I did for my Collage Queens group on TikTok, and I started out with just a page in my journal that I wanted to put lots of bright, happy colors on, and I started it day before yesterday. And then yesterday I woke up and it got really dark really fast, and I didn't like it at all, but I posted it anyway because I thought I spent so much time on it and I didn't want to spend any more time on the challenge because I have so many other things to do. So I posted it anyway, and people liked it, and now it's growing on me. So that's usually what happens with, but not that dramatically. I went from bright, happy colors to, I'll have to go check that one out. Okay, so now I'm ready to start gluing these pages down. And you know what I'm going to do to save time and be quick? I'm going to take a few of these and kind of make sure they're cool. Tip of the day. Let's make different sizes. Saving time. This one's there, so awesome. Okay, maybe do the rest of these. Okay, I started without the camera. I'm gonna use a glue book today because I don't want the glue on top. I think I may change my mind later, but for right now I just want to glue. So sometimes I glue over the top of everything and it leaves a nice coating, but you kind of lose that feel and the texture. So today I'm gonna glue these pieces on by coating the back and then putting them on here. So you can feel the difference. And I didn't glue that very. I may change my mind. I might end up sealing the whole thing in the end. But we'll see. I want to use some plain and not do too many. See, I'm so used to gluing everything directly down, like on top of what I'm laying down. I almost did it. Let's see, something different here. Here's something, but that's okay. I think too much, so a lot of times these things will come out better if you don't think so much, but it's really hard for me to do. Here's something cool. Love it. See, this is just from a roll-off sheet when I was using my jelly plate. I believe this is from last week's Masterboard Monday, where I was using the book to roll off my brayer, and I was using my jelly plate as a stamping pad. And look, now it's the background of something to be determined. Okay, we need more white. There we go. And on this one I noticed, is it this one? Somewhere I noticed a little scribble line from where I was trying to get a pen to work. I mean, the things that you find here, that one was, I'm going to do them in all different directions, and because that one is going, it's upside down. I'm going to do this one right side up. Okay. See, they're not perfectly squared off, but that's okay. We'll put something, maybe numbers. Maybe we'll stick that one in there to cover that little line right there. I'm stuck to it. Okay, next. And see, this one's not straight, but I'm going to leave it because it's cool. So not every single one. Sometimes I do them and I just tear it up and make all kinds of different shapes. Today I wanted something a little more squared off rectangle pieces. That I don't like, the letters being crooked, the writing. Too much that way. But I do want, I don't want to cover that up because that's cool. See, you should not do all this thinking. I keep reminding myself, don't do this. But I do it every time anyway. That's kind of cool. I guess. That's better. So how are you all liking Masterboard Monday? It's a little more laid back. Just my thoughts as I create. Might get a little scary because I'm all over the place. I do like it though. I like kind of just being creative on Monday and making something that might carry me through the week. It's hard to find enough topics to keep a channel going, but when I just start off with something, I kind of have an idea of some things that I want to do this week. Sometimes when I just start on something and let it roll, it's helpful. And usually what I started with is not what I end with. But sometimes I think when you just force yourself to turn the lights on and throw some supplies down on the table, I think that's the hardest step. Like, I could be thinking and going through Pinterest and trying to figure out what I want to do, make a list of projects, and never actually get started. And sometimes the best projects, I think, for me are the ones where I just say, all right, it's time to go in the room and make something happen without knowing what you're going to do. Turn out to be some of my best projects. hard to plan art sometimes. But that's what I'm saying with these Masterboard Mondays. It's really like the ideas start to flow as you're working. This is the big one, but that's okay. I can cover it up and we'll get that edge in there. Which side do I like better? Yeah, do I want that? Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. I like it so far. I'm glad I decided to put the blue in there. I do like it. I'm so happy to be back with my regular colors. I love magenta. That's the one that I've allowed into my blue color palette because you need a little something. I do really like magenta, but overall, I'm not a pink and red girl. I really love my blues. I'm thinking too hard again. Here, let's just pick something up and stick it down. I'll just go out here for now. When I connect those, we'll just stick it right there because I'm not sure I want that kind of blue in there. I'm going to stick to this greenish color. It's teal, maybe aqua teal. I think it's closer to teal. Whatever, doesn't matter what you call it. I mean, it kind of does. But for now, no. Let's get a big one in there. Maybe? I think I want to cut this down because I'm going to make some small tags and I don't want just one. Well, I might. See how my mind changes so quickly? But I am going to cut this one down a little bit or tear it. Yes. I like the instant yes in my head. Okay. Then by the time I glue it, I don't remember what I did with it, but that's okay. It's around here somewhere. Okay. I'm reading this. Chair. Prolonged sitting can be very tedious. Is uncomfortable. Quite a disagreeable one. Seat, however, is and of course I'm missing, so it's just kind of weird. It's quicker if you don't take the time to read what you're putting down. This has a little glue on top. All right, I'm missing spaces. Let's bring this. This might be a little too white. I'm not sure about that. Here's that bird, but I'm going to tear this in half because I don't really want to see that it's a bird in here. It's a good spot though. Let's turn it so it's a little more not quite like a bird. Well, but then you can't see those numbers, so I'm gonna. Do I want those numbers? I kind of do. Let's take it down here a little bit, and then I'll just tear off that bottom because it has 177 7's one of my favorite numbers. There's lots of 7s, 9s, and 11. My birthday's 9/11. So 11 was always one of my favorite numbers, of course. All right, let me move this out of the way because we're going to, you know what? I'm going to flip this over now. Whoa, totally different. Yeah, that's a good trick. I've forgotten to flip things over a lot recently. That's one of the first things I learned when I was learning how to draw faces. And my second husband, who went to Pratt, taught me to flip your reference upside down, because then I don't really know how to explain it. I'm probably going to get this wrong, but your eye fills in spaces and kind of tricks you when you're looking at something familiar. But then when you flip it over, it's easier to see the proportions without trying to place what you're drawing in on the face. I don't know how to explain it. I'm sure a lot of you already know what I'm talking about. If not, maybe that'll be a video for another day. I started a few years ago doing did I say 50 or 100? I hope I said 50. No, I think I said 100. I wanted to do 100 faces and see my progress. I think I got to 34. And when I tell you, you could probably go back and look on some of my social media. It's probably still there because I don't delete anything, only because I want to see my progress. And I hope that as it gets further and further back in my social media feed, nobody will ever see it. Except I'm telling you, you can go look now. Anyway, I got to somewhere in the 30s. And I was thinking about maybe starting that back up again. I need one with, ooh, this one's cool. Yeah, I was thinking about practicing my sketches again. I do pretty well drawing faces now, but it still takes me a really long time. And some of the people that I watch sketch on YouTube, I don't know if it's manipulated, probably not. There's lots of people that do beautiful faces without even, it looks like without even trying. I want to do that one day. This channel is definitely not about teaching you what to do, because I'm not an expert at anything. This is just me playing and experimenting and recording it for myself, for my grandchildren later, so that I'm still around when they're older. But after I'm gone, they'll still find me. I miss my grandparents and all their wisdom. I think about them all the time and all the lessons that they taught me, and how much I would love to have had social media. Although I don't know how they would have loved it, but I would have loved to have had something now. I would love to have something now that I can go back and hear their voice and learn what they knew. You know, I talked about on my channel, not my channel, my last video, about think it was my last video, how working together as artists and kind of recording and sharing the little tips and tricks that you learn along the way helps other people come along and not have to learn those lessons the hard way. So I do save a lot of time sometimes by watching others create. And it's kind of the same in life too. Like my grandparents taught me a lot of things that I probably didn't fully understand then, but now I think, wow, I'm glad I learned that. And I didn't have to learn it. But there are still a lot of things that I've had to learn the hard way. So to have them around still guiding me would be nice. So anyway, the ramblings of a evolving artist and human life lessons. I don't know, does any of that make any sense? You know what I'm going to do? Because I'm having a hard time here, I'm going to start from the edge and work in. So I think originally I was asking, how do you like Masterboard Monday so far? There's so many different ways to do these, and I will cover all of them. But has it helped anyone? You know, people that have been doing art for a while, especially those that are in the art journal and junk journaling, and they know a lot about putting papers down and creating masterboards. But some people don't. I had no idea. I just started doing this recently. I mean, I've always done masterboards, but for different reasons. And I'm not sure that I even really realized it was a thing called a masterboard. You know who's really good at doing masterboards? One of the first ones that I started following is Carrie the Crafter. C-E-R-I, the Crafter. You should check out his channel if you want to really get into creating these. He is way far ahead of me by miles. I love him. He's funny too. I said I was going to work inward, or from the outside edge in. But here I am, back in the middle. Back in the middle. It's interesting to go back and edit these videos and listen to myself ramble. You learn a lot about yourself, that's for sure. Kind of like this way. I wonder how much of the paper and the tearing is picked up on the camera. I have to say, I know that a lot of people love ASMR. I get the opposite effect. Who's with me? When I hear too much of the ASMR, when I turn on a channel, I have to turn it off. I can't listen to it. It gives me anxiety. It's like nails on a chalkboard. I don't know what that is or where it came from, and why are so many people obsessed with ASMR? Just totally the opposite. Is that weird? Am I weird? I mean, I know I'm weird. But is that normal? So I try not to have too much of it. This is really cool though. I might want to stick some plain pieces in there on top, but we'll see. That's good. Or is it that way? No. Actually, I don't like it there. Let's put it there. Perfect. Ooh, I like this with the numbers on it. I'm going to use that side. I don't know why I love numbers. Because in real life, I cannot count. I'm so bad at math. I mean, if I wrap my head around it, if I take the time to pay attention and figure out a problem, I'm okay. But I don't have the patience to sit down and figure out math problems. So everything I do with numbers is with a calculator. Pretty good with words and writing usually. I'm going to tear this off just because, actually I'm just going to fold it over. That might be kind of cool on the back side. When I go to cut these up, there'll already be some stuff on one piece. We'll see what happens. Might not be a bad idea to wrap things around the edge so that when I cut it all up, the edges are stronger. Oh man, this is almost too small. Almost. I like it. No, too much. I think I need a white bit of I like that so much, but then don't overthink, just do it. Just do it. Uh-oh. What happened there? Oh no. Look what I did. I don't know why this is not sticking. Why is it not sticking? I think this white paper doesn't have a lot of texture on it. Oh no, I did it again. Oh no. You see this brush? This is the cheapest brush. I love these little brushes. I gotta get some more. I've been using the same brush for so long, but they're great for this, and I've even used them with, I mean, when I find a brush that I really like, I stick with it for a long time. I don't want that straight line showing, so I'm going to cover it up with something. And we'll do, I want some black here. Or maybe, no, I want some dark. Something dark. Let's use another one of these. I love these little bits in here. Let's do some small pieces, and then that way, I want to get this in. I want to get this little piece in there. Oh, that looks so cool. I love it. Uh-oh. Okay. I gotta reorganize here. We'll have to take a break and reorganize. Okay, so I got a straight line in there, but that's okay. And I'll put another one. How about right there? Perfect. So if you're still with me and you like this kind of video, if you could hit the like and subscribe button, that would be so cool. So I am obsessed with the numbers on YouTube, even though they tell you not to be. Just keep creating and be consistent. But I do look at them every night and many times throughout the day. It's very exciting. And then sometimes it's weird because YouTube happens in waves. Like, you go for the longest time and nothing's happening. But then you get these little waves of progress that shows. And usually what I've noticed is that when it gets really, really quiet and you don't see much happening, all of a sudden one morning you wake up and there's something there. And I get so excited still. And they say, don't stress about it. Don't worry. And be obsessive about clicking that refresh button. But that's just not me. I have to sit on top of it. All I want to know is that I'm creating something that is either interesting and entertaining or helpful. So, and I'm excited. I'm super, super excited when I get comments. So, if you have a comment about this project, comment. I'm just filling in now and just making sure that the colors are all throughout and that there's not, so, and here's a tip. If you're not sure, look through the camera. Take a photo of what you're working on and look at it through the camera, because sometimes you see things differently through the lens of the camera. And it's very helpful to kind of see what everybody else is seeing. These definitely look different in person. I don't know how you film something to look exactly like what you see. I'm assuming really expensive, high quality lighting and cameras. I mean, you get a good idea, but sometimes the colors are slightly different when I look at it on the TV screen. And there again, you can flip it over and you see it differently. See, there's a little area here that I would not have seen that if I were not looking in the camera. So weird. But there you go. All right, I think that's good. So you see we have this fully covered. It's a lot stronger now. And then I already have something fairly interesting on the back. It's not just plain, and you know, some of them I might go and put stuff on the back and some of them I won't. And as I cut it, you'll get little, you know, like I might get a, here, let me see. I might get, well, where did I put them? All right, hold on. So I just used these tags to cut out little frames. So see, I might end up doing a tag that looks like that. So that's kind of cool. And some of them will just be plain. And then I can decide later whether I'm going to put something on the back, but at least some of them I won't need to. Okay, so let me put the stuff away and then we're going to cut this up. So as always, because I like to make the 5x7s under the mats for my store, I'm going to see if there's any pieces that I really, oh man, I like all of it. Definitely going to have to do another one of these because I want a set of 5x7s for my store. Could you imagine like something like that big on there with this as the background, or my palm trees, or a silhouette? I don't want to cut this up. Ooh, you know, it would be really cool. The bird. Where's the bird? Did I put him away? I think I put him away. But that would be really cool. That bird. I'll have to do one and show you. All right, so I'm gonna make another one, so I'm gonna cut these up into tags, and I'm not telling you, I'm telling me, so that I can cut this. So this is definitely a winner for sure, with these stained papers and book pages and stuff like that. I even like this little bit here. So, okay, so, but what I'm saying to myself is cut it up and just make another one. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. So now, okay, you know what? I'm gonna cut one 5x7, and I want it all the way to the edge, but you can't really do that. So I'm gonna go up a little bit, and I'm gonna trace. I'm just gonna lightly make those lines so I don't cut into that space, and then that will be one 5x7, and let's just do one more. Just so I can relax, and I like this with the numbers on the side, and it's in a little bit, so let's do this. And it's a little bit larger than 5x7, so that way I can go in and put the hinge tape and mat it. So now we have, let me make this a little bit darker so I can see. Now we have this corner, and this corner is taken. And I still have this and all of that. So now I'm gonna, ooh, that's cool. Now these, I don't need to do any extra. I can line this right up on the space that I'm gonna cut. That is really super cool. And I'm gonna press kind of hard because I want to be able to see where those lines are later. Let's do a big one, because where's that line? Right here. That's kind of cool. And I like this on the edge, but I'm not loving the rest, so I think this is better. Yeah, this is kind of not thick, so you have to hold it. There's another one. And so that I'm not confused and mess up later, I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Now, if this is too wet, you should probably wait a little bit, but this is pretty dry at this point. So, one 5x7, and I don't know what I'm going to put on there. Maybe the birds, maybe I'll just worry about that later. Now, if these were ATCs or ACEOs, which are 2.5 by 3.5, I would just put this on my guillotine and slice it up. But because we're doing tags, you see, we have to do it this way. Okay, so you see how I did this? Because I don't want this video to be super long, I'm going to go cut these up and I will come back and show you what we're left with. So here's what I end up with. And I'm going to show you how I finish off the top here in a minute. And I'll just leave them like this for now. Sometimes I take out my unfinished tags and I'll have an idea and want to play around and I'll go ahead and finish them up. But sometimes I leave them because if I'm working on something with a specific pattern, I can add a little to this to make this match the page that I'm working on. And then I got these little ones. These are great too to have plain, because if I'm giving something to someone, I can just write a little message to and from, and they're interesting little tags. So that's that. And then what I do, you can use this, an old folder, which is what this is. You could see the little notch there. Just a little flat folding folder. And then I use this from Creative Memories, but they have them everywhere. And I just cut a circle out of this, or if they're colored tags and I want to do a round one in the color that I'm working with, I can do that. But then I take, now this is a little big for the small ones, but I don't mind. I have a smaller circle punch around here somewhere, but then I just take the glue and I go right around the edge, just because I want to, right now, usually it doesn't matter, but because I'm going to do this right now, I want to show you, and I don't want the glue to be wet in the center. So I just eyeball it. There it is. And again, I eyeball it because math, and you got to look at it from different angles, because sometimes it looks like it's in the center and it's not, and sometimes it's just not, and that's okay. See, this one's slightly not in the center, but there, you got that way to do it. And then if you just want it, actually probably show up better on this one. Oh yeah. Oh, this glue's almost gone. Let's do it this way just to be artsy. Bring it towards the edge a little more so I can do it right. I think that's, well, not quite the middle either, but there you go, handmade. Handmade is hard sometimes. But there you go, that's how you finish off those tags. And I will leave these like this, and maybe I'll come back and do another video of how I finish them off. I have some little antique little pieces of ephemera and some little vintage ladies that I might put on some of these. But there you go. I hope you liked today's video. Please like and subscribe and comment what you liked, what you didn't like, what you want to see more of. I'd appreciate that. And I hope that you have a really great crafty week. And I will see you tomorrow for Tuesday's tip. Thanks for watching.